Hey everyone, the name is Kris Barocsi and welcome to... Oh no, what is that? Am I teasing the junior? Am I spoiling the current state of the TV yellow finish? No, I'm not. The second part of the refinishing process, this series went online last week, I think, when you're watching this. Go ahead and check it out if you missed it. If not, then it's just a bit of an eye candy and a reminder that I am working on it. Part 3 is coming up soon. So, before I show you the pedal today, it is the Kasleder sweet little thing. It's a brand new pedal and I don't want to show it because a lot of people are, well, you know, prejudiced about certain pedals. So let's just hear it first. So this is the Strat going straight into the Rev D25 Joey Langelet edition on a clean setting. And here's the pedal. This clunk is something we'll talk about a little more later in this video. This is just another tube screamer. It's green. See? It's kind of funny how a lot of people will immediately switch off, so to say, when it's like, oh, this is my take on a tube screamer, or here's a new version of the tube screamer type circuit. A lot of people are like, oh, come on, not again. Too many. And yeah, of course, there are too many for one single person, to almost too much to choose from. But those people who really like those legendary sounds that were created with one of these pedals, like the original TS808, TS9, TS10, any of those original pedals, those people really appreciate the circuit and might be in trouble nowadays. Why? Well, current amps, modern amps, boutique amps don't really react the same way as those old, you know, Fender, original vintage Fender amps or Marshall amps or whatever. First of all, modern amps are just more refined. Not necessarily better, don't get me wrong. Those are amazing amps, but most of us cannot afford to get one of those, or even if we can, we cannot use them the same way as Stevie Ray did, or, you know, a lot of other players did, because we cannot afford to play 125 dBs all the time. That is the crucial thing about this whole magical sound. Well, this really... this clunky, awesome mid-range, this chewiness, this, you know, still kind of full sound, because that's the issue with the tube screamer circuit, is that if you use it with a moderately loud or even quiet amp, it just cuts too much. It's not, you know, it didn't age that well as some other circuits because of this factor that it sounds best, like a normal tube screamer sounds best with a stupidly loud tube amp. And that is an issue for most of us. Now, what we really need is someone to love the original sound and those original, you know, components in those old tube screamer pedals, love this whole thing enough to care about giving us current players the same kind of mojo and a pedal that sounds and feels like the old pedals, the original ones, sounded with those original amps that were cranked. Those are three components that most of us cannot have. So that is exactly what Albert Kasleder wanted to do with the sweet little thing. He wanted to create a unique, super nice playing and sounding pedal full of old components. Like, I don't know how many, I didn't count, but a lot of these components are from like special locations where he found enough of those old actual like 70s components. Most of them are like barely possible to find anymore. And Kasleder combined all those parts to make this sound sweet. So the name Sweet Little Thing is just the sweetest thing ever, and it fits so well. There's not a lot to talk about on a pedal like this. I mean, look, level, tone, drive. It's like a screamer, right? It doesn't really suck out that much low end and bigness or warmness. It just pushes the mids. And the other thing about it is this clunk. This is stupid, like so enjoyable. And I missed that so often when I play different takes on screamers. There are ones that will sound identical to the original one, maybe even super close to old ones, but if it doesn't do the clunk thing on like a neck pickup or like fourth position, single coil pickup situation, if that doesn't happen with a slight palm mute, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I don't know. And the other thing is that unlike most screamers, I like the Sweet Little Thing more and more as I turn up the drive. So the more drive I have, the more I enjoy myself, which is usually the opposite, because usually there's this overdriven layer on top of a clean sound kind of thing that I hear with a lot of tube screamers, and I don't hear that here at all. It's just that mid-rangey awesome Strat sound, like, you know, like I'm talking about this. Or this. And now the ultimate test. Is it usable with a Les Paul playing a clean amp? This is first the pedal off and then I'll tweak the knobs. All right, before I compare the sweet little thing to the reissue TS808 and the original TS10, I want to test it in front of a crunchy sound. So this is the Les Paul going into the Brothers AM by Chase Bliss, which is set for like a really cool overdrive sound, and then going to the same amp with the same clean setting. So this is just the Brothers AM. I usually find the mid-range a bit overwhelming when using humbuckers and a clean amp and then a screamer type pedal. It's usually not my favorite like drive sound, but it's I don't know, somehow it doesn't become too mid-humpy with the sweet little thing. It maintains enough fullness so that the mid-push just extends the whole experience instead of totally reshaping it. It's interesting. Okay, let's do this. Let's compare the sweet little thing to my reissue TS808 and then the TS10. And that is an original one. Let's listen to the voicing, of course, the amount of low end and that clunk. Okay, so when I palm mute, what happens to the notes and how they bloom and what's up with the overtones and you know, all those things. Okay, so the TS808 has the least amount of clunk when I palm mute and the least amount of low end. It's a really sweet, beautiful sound. I mean, we know it and love it, and it's all cool. Then the TS10 is just beautiful. It sounds super chewy and like has a lot of that clunk thing, and also a little more low end for sure. But it's still voiced sort of upper mid-rangey and like thinner, and the sweet little thing has like this beefiness about it. It sounds fuller than the other two, which is really cool and refreshing, to be honest. And that is, I think, why it reminds me more of those legendary screamer sounds that we know from like the 70s and 80s and whatever, because with a modern amp at a moderate volume, the pedal sounds big and full, even with a Strat, which is not like the boomiest, most bass heavy instrument ever. And I love that. You don't get a lot of these pedals like the sweet little thing, which, as told, is very much traditional, but made for the current guitar player, the contemporary guitar player. This is exactly why I say don't be prejudiced. Don't say like, oh, we don't need another, you know, insert product name. Another Strat or another Blues Breaker pedal or another Marshall style Plexi style amp or another Tube Screamer style pedal, because one of these days someone will make one that will blow your mind more than any of the others. And to me, this in this ballpark, this is one of those pedals. This is the I want to sound like my heroes. This gets me closest, which is because I don't have their vintage amps and vintage guitars, and I cannot play at their volumes. All right, so let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this sweet little thing, and see you in another video very, very soon. Bye.